to talk to you about Wardian Cases. I actually have two here that I really like. Wardian Cases were first designed by Nathaniel Bradshaw Ward in the mid-18th century, and he actually stumbled upon them by accident. But what they were actually used for was especially bringing, they were used for bringing a lot of plants back from exotic places around the world to England, and they helped the plants survive the journey in the ocean and keep the salt air off, the exposure off and everything, and sort of to mimic the natural environments of the tropical areas that they were bringing the plants back from. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plant some Wardian cases here myself. I've got a variety of ferns here, and I've got actually a little chicken and hen here I'm going to put in one, and I'm just going to do that now. So I'm going to start with this green one that I have. They can get a lot of different Wardian cases. I'm just going to move this one out of the way. Where can I put this thing? You can get Wardian cases in different varieties. Mine, actually, both of them are glass with metal bases, but you can get plastic ones too. So what you want to do is, if they have a base on them like this and they don't have any drainage, then you want to put some stones in the bottom. Now this one and that one do have holes in the bottom and a tray for drainage, so I'm not going to put any stones in there. I'm just going to start off by filling it full of some dirt. And this one here is big enough, I think, that I can put 2 ferns in. So I'm actually going to put in, not quite sure yet. I think maybe my button and my asparagus fern. Now you want to make sure you get small growing plants for these things, unless you have a large Wardian case, which are hard to come by. But both of these happen to be very small, so I'm just going to put some small plants in them. Now this asparagus fern is definitely outgrown its pot. Just fill it up with some more dirt. And hopefully these ferns will be happy through the wintertime inside my case. Keep the drafts out, the cool air out. Keep it nice and humid. So there we go, that one's planted. And we'll just put the top back on. And there we go, we have our first planted Wardian case. And now I'm actually just going to move on to the second one, which is this one here. This one actually I just picked up, it was 20 bucks, it's really cool. I'm going to start working on this one. Now this one has a little plastic insert too, which is awesome, it holds the water in, but I'm also going to put some drainage in the bottom. Ran out of dirt. Okay. Okay, so now what I want to do here is I'm going to use my, I think this is called a bird's nest fern. I'm not 100% sure, I'm not too familiar with this one, but I thought it was really cool, so I picked it up at the garden center and I'm going to use it inside this little case here. I'm just going to start. Again, if you don't have any drainage in the bottom of your case, then you want to put some rocks. Start by putting some dirt in. Alright, so I've got some soil in there. And I'm actually just going to try the best I can to get this out of the pot. Dig a little hole. just going to move the leaves on this one because I don't have that much space. Okay, now just fill up this dirt a little more. And I think because I'm sort of lopsided looking here, I'm going to put a little chicken and hen in here, just for some interest. And that should be good. So now I've got all of my plants planted in their cases and ready to be displayed around the house. Now water very carefully with these. You don't want to overwater them, especially if you don't have a lot of room for the water to go. Bring this other one back down. And there we go. We have our 2 Victorian Wardian cases here. Okay, so now that we've made our Wardian cases, why don't we try making another sort of Wardian case. It's usually made out of a glass container that you have lying around the house. You can actually use things like pop bottles or mason jars or any sort of canning jar. You can buy specially made terrariums, but I'm just going to use this, which I had lying around the house. And it is just a candle holder, actually. The bottom here is actually meant to have some sort of cut flowers or some floating flowers or something in them. And then there's a votive holder that goes in the top, like that, which actually will help seal a lot of the moisture in. But I'm going to use this to plant some plants in. So first off, if you have a container like this, what you want to do again is put some rocks or some gravel in the bottom to create some drainage. I don't have any rocks right now, so I'm actually just going to do it without. So I'm just going to start by getting some dirt and getting it in there. Now again, same with this, you want to choose some plants that are very small growing. You don't want to pick a plant that's going to grow out of the size of the container very quickly at all. Especially something like this, there's just not enough room for a larger plant in there. So I'm just going to fill it up with some dirt. Now with this particular container, I'm actually really not going to make the dirt that deep at all. The choice of things I'm going to grow inside here doesn't need that much dirt for growing space, so I think we'll be okay. Alright. Luckily enough with this one, this particular container, I have enough room to fit my hand inside to work with the dirt. If you don't have enough room to do that, then what you want to do is get yourself a knife or spoon or a pair of chopsticks or something to help push things around. Okay, now, so the plants that I've chosen to put in here are actually just some simple plants. I have got a few chickens and hens here. Actually, they're really small ones. I saved them from the garden outside. They got trampled on and cut off by a snow shovel. So I just brought them in the house. And I also stole some I think it's Irish or Scottish moss. I can't remember which one. I have 2 growing in the garden right now. One's dark green and one's light green. I think this is the Irish moss. So both of these plants here are actually very small and they barely have any root systems at all. So there's tons of room in here. So I'm going to start off by putting, actually I'm going to break it up, the Irish moss inside. And just sort of arrange it how you think it'd look good. I'm going to put this little guy in the front. And he looks a little worse for wear. He's had a lot of his leaves chopped off, but hopefully that'll change soon with some good luck. And then I'm going to put this other one here, and maybe this other piece of and then maybe put this other piece of Irish moss just around the back here. And then what I've done is I've actually grabbed just a couple of stones out of the garden for some decoration. And I'm just going to toss them in there too. And then just toss your little cap on top. You actually don't need to put a cap on top. I did because this container came with one. Oh, and there you go. You actually don't need to put a cap on top, but I did with this one because the container came with one.